All right, Dylan, very nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing, Danielle?
Good, thanks. So we've been chatting a little bit about your experience. You have amazing tenure. The company that you are currently working for, you have been there for just about 5 years now, a little bit over
Yep.
five. Okay, why don't
hmm
you tell me a little bit about where you're working and what type of work you're doing for them?
Yeah, so I'm working at World Class Distributions. It is the distribution center in Daytona right here for Trader Joe's and their products. I work in the logistics office. So basically what I do on a daily basis, and I'm the supervisor, but just I do have other duties as well as the regular employees. Take take attendance every day, make sure everybody's there. We get everything set up, get the numbers pulled up for the day, what we need to be, what deliveries we need to have scheduled out, what deliveries we got coming in. We communicate with vendors, brokers, dispatches of trucking companies, whether they're privately owned or a fully operational business. Um, we keep records and times and spreadsheets. We operate through Microsoft Office on a daily basis. We use everything that's in the whole Microsoft Office family. We keep records of times, delivery times, estimated times of arrivals, estimated times of departures. We keep spreadsheets of every single vendor and company we use. So everything from Unilever to Pepsi to Nestle to Corona to a lot of different vendors we use that we house their products. They make products for Trader Joe's and we house them. And I also am in charge of being the supervisor in the office. I'm also in charge of the the all around environment of the office, which is
Sure.
the making sure everybody's okay, making sure everybody's good, making sure everybody's content with their daily duties or their jobs. And yeah, just try to keep the efficiency up, try to keep the morale up, and go home every day. That's our goal. Just come in, get work done for the 8 hours to 10 hours that we're there, go home.
Okay. So, when you're working, are you speaking like who is your client, like or your customer?
So our customers are the I would say the vendors most likely more than anything. Because I guess you could say the truck drivers too, because
Hmm.
we do communicate with them on a daily basis. We communicate with them as they're there, before they leave, as they get there. But I would say our backbone to the customer side is the vendors, the people that are calling and scheduling or emailing and scheduling appointments every 2 weeks to get things put into the stores on shelves. Um, they are the ones that we try to keep happy as much as possible for sure. For example, they'll email, hey, we got 40 pallets of, these Trader Joe's has little cherry sours, so we'll just use those for example. We got 40 pallets of cherry sours. The store in Winter Park is low, so we got a load coming from Wisconsin, and we need to see if we can get that guy in as soon as possible. But what our policy is we schedule 2 weeks out. Now, if the schedule allows it, we will somewhat work with the vendor to kind of get them into, we'll break our rule for the 2 week thing, and then we'll get them in, within the next couple of days. Like if they say that they can be in town within a day or two or 48 hours, we'll see what the next couple of days schedule allows, like look for any cancellations through the emails and see if there's a way we can kind of get that guy in there and just try to maintain a good rapport with that company, just, hey, you scratch my back, we'll scratch yours. So, and sometimes we'll overbook a schedule, right?
Hmm.
And we'll have to reach out to a vendor and say, hey, don't be mad. We may
Hmm.
have to move you, we may have to move you out a little bit longer. And then, but doing those types of favors kind of gives you that little bit of leadway with that vendor and that company saying, hey, that's okay. We'll give us an extra week. We'll have it, no big deal. You guys got to
So
maintain your stuff.
lots of client relations, so customer
Yeah,
service.
lots. If it's not on
Um,
the phone, it's through email. Yep.
okay, and that's what I was going to ask you. So, computer skills, you're on a computer all day long, working
Yeah.
different softwares. What type of software do you work with primarily?
So I personally use purely Microsoft stuff. There is it's like a smaller program. It's called, it's like French. It's called Gold Stock Logistics and Inventory or something like that. And it's the
Like a
company's private.
proprietary product.
Yeah. It's like the company's private little software that they use to
Yeah.
keep track of all their inventory and stuff. And I'm pretty proficient at that. But me personally, it's Microsoft Office, Microsoft Outlook, and a little bit of, Microsoft Teams to do calls like this and stuff through meetings. But other than
What
that,
about Excel?
yeah, I use Excel on it. Like that is like the bread and butter is Excel.
Okay.
Everything is done through Excel.
Okay. So you're are you entering data and calculating or using any of the formulas? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. Just keyboard shortcut. That's what I have a list taped to my desk of all the keyboard shortcuts for Excel, just in case
Okay.
I like need to look for one.
Okay. All right.
The only time we
And
really
then,
use Word is if we're doing like a flyer or something.
so for a position, I feel like just talking with you since we've been chatting for the last half hour or so, are you more customer focused, customer forward, or do you like the back office side? Because it seems like you do a little bit of both in your job. Where do you feel like you would excel if I was to ask your leader?
So honestly, I do a little bit of both because I sometimes just sitting back and letting the guys, the girl, letting everybody do it. It just kind of gets a little tedious, a little boring. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, being the lead. Sometimes that's because that's what they told me. My boss told me, he's like, hey, you're not gonna be able to be as hands on as you were.
Mhm.
It's more or less just kind of fixing problems and stuff like that pop up. You can jump in and help, but then that's what I do. I try to jump in as much as I can, just because
Mhm.
I like talking to the customers. I like building the relationships with them. I like, if comments or concerns pop up, I like being able to kind of work through them with them. So I definitely would think that I'm more sociable, the customer forward, definitely.
Okay.
But as much
Great.
as my boss would prefer me to just sit back and kind of like, because it's like he told me, like if you can't fix the problems and the problems are getting to me, then we have a problem. Like it's
Okay.
not me and him have a problem, but like the problem must be pretty big if it's something that you can't sit there and do. So please. And I'm like, how do you do this? How do you just sit in your office all day? Don't want to be bothered. But it's because he's doing this all day. He's on Zoom
Yeah.
calls, Google Meets,
Well,
or Team Meets.
I would think in the last 5 years, if you were brought in and then you were promoted, that he has a lot of trust in you that
Oh yeah.
that you're going to handle it. And so I can see where he would say, if you can't handle it, then there must be a problem because you probably have taken
Yeah,
on.
that's pretty much where he's at. He knows he can close his door and things will be fine outside of the door.
Yeah, for sure. All
But
right.
I
Well,
prefer to
Dylan,
be
I'm going to
customer
go ahead and
forward though.
okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the interview, but don't go anywhere. We got a few more things to chat about.
Okay, yeah.